pretty excited about that, so that's good. Okay, hi Facebook people. So we're gonna do yoga. We've already had a discussion, and today we get what we get. We don't get upset. Yoga, we get yoga. Sam's in a mood today. Watch out. All right, we're gonna, and I'm muting you all. Here we are, yoga. Mute. Yes. No. Okay, yoga. I think are you all muted? You don't look muted. You're not muted. Okay, nobody's muting anybody. Oh, come on.
Should we mute ourselves?
Yeah, if you want to mute yourselves, maybe that would be good.
Let me see how you do that.
I got you all. You're good. You're all muted. Okay, technical difficulties, week, what is this? Week 52, I have no idea. Okay. Now everybody's got to get back to your mat after all that. I got that big screen going on over there. Close this out. Okay, perfect. Perfect. On our mats. Find yourself sitting comfortably. I think last week I had us reverse legs and do something a little different, and everybody was making faces. So let's just get comfortable today. Nothing uncomfortable. Whatever's working. So if I'm calling out a certain pose or telling you to do something, by all means listen to what your body's telling you. We have some people, their hips are hurting, but not a good hurting. There's people, hips are stiff, so we need hips. Lower back. We're just going to kind of just sit on in right now. And land on our mat wherever we are. Just get a sense of your breathing this morning. Get a sense of what's going on in your head right now. I know there's a lot going on in this world right now, and a lot of times it's easy to get caught up and maybe get anxious, especially if we have the news on, the TV's on, scrolling through headlines. And maybe for the next 50 some odd minutes, we kind of just put all of that aside. Through your nose, take a big deep breath in. Open your mouth, exhale, sigh it out. Again, 2 more big breaths just like that. Big breath in through your nose. Exhale, sigh it out. And 1 more. Big breath in. Breath out. And now continuing on with your breath, see if you can cultivate that 3-part yogic breath, breathing in through your belly. So maybe you want to just place your hands gently on your belly so you can feel the air as it comes on in. Feel your belly deflate as you exhale. Again, as you inhale, your belly expands like a balloon. Exhale, it deflates. Now bring your hands to your sides by your ribs. Inhale. Feel your ribs expand. Exhale. And they go in. Inhale, ribs expand. Exhale. Bring your hands to your heart center. And we're still filling up our belly as we inhale, our ribs as we inhale, and now the air reaches our heart, our chest. Pause at the top and then exhale, emptying out the chest, the ribs, the belly. Again, inhale, belly fills, ribs fill, heart fills. Exhale. And one more time, you can bring your arms on down. And nice breath in, filling up your belly, your ribs, your chest. Pausing at the top. And emptying out your chest, your ribs, your belly. Just noticing now any clutter that's been cleared out in your mind. And throughout your practice, continue to breathe this way throughout each of the poses. And anytime that you are forgetting your breath, I'm going to cue you to remind you. But if you catch yourself, don't beat yourself up over it. Just continue to breathe. So again, bringing our integrity now into our body, pressing into our sitting bones, reaching up with our spine, feeling that spine just elongating, crown of the head lifting on up to the ceiling, shoulders dropping down. Good. Arms come down by our sides. And as we inhale, arms lift on up, that big breath. Exhale, arms down. Inhale, lift up. 3-part breath. Exhale, down. So if your breathing's going a little slower than mine and you need to go and we're not matching up, that's fine with your breath. Listening to your body. And last one on up. And all the way down. Beautiful. All right, left hand, let's bring it over to our right knee for our spinal twist. Belly pulls in as the right arm tucks right on behind your sitting bone there. Shoulders continue to drop on down. And gaze on over to your right. And notice here how that 3-part breath changes with that little twist and rinse in your waist. Where do you feel the air in your rib cage in this different pose? Belly pulls in, inhale, come on forward, right arm reaches around, and a big curl with that spine. And again here, try that 3-part yogic breath, in through the belly, the ribs, the chest. And maybe as you're doing this, you have some gentle rocks, or maybe your body needs stillness. Really pay attention to the air as it hits your back between your shoulder blades and notice that expansion. And notice if it maybe seems a little bit more on one side or the other. Just observe. Inhale, come on up, nice long spine. Right arm stays B, belly pulls in, and spinal twist over to your left. Relax those shoulders. Maybe even opening up your mouth, moving your jaw side to side. Three-part breath on this side. Where do you feel it? Maybe in here you notice the difference in your rib cage again. I'm actually noticing as I'm inhaling, I get these little sounds of the cracks in my back a little. Belly pulls in. Inhale, come on forward. Left arm reaches around. And a nice curl with that spine again. And this time observing where you're feeling this, again, through your belly, your ribs, and especially how the air reaches your back and your chest. So the back between your shoulder blades, this is the thoracic spine here. And we're going to work on expanding that space too. So what you're feeling right now in that opening throughout your practice, we're going to focus on breath and expansion. We'll open up your shoulders. Inhale, come on all the way up to seated. Maybe just a couple of circles with your shoulders. Breathing in, lifting up, exhaling down. Very good. All right, we're going to kind of get into something a little different right off this morning. And we're going to go into garden gate. So we've done this a few times. Just rolling over onto your knees. Like, Sam, you messed us up. We don't usually do this. All right, take your left foot and you're going to put it parallel to the edge of your mat. Just extend that out there. Your foot's going to press into the floor. Okay. Your right arm is going to come right underneath your shoulder. Fingers spread wide. Middle finger is going to be facing right at the top of the mat. And left arm is going to reach on up. We can gaze on up to the ceiling at your hand and feel this nice opening along the side of your hip here. If you've got bad knees and don't want to be on your knee, you can always put a towel or a cushion underneath. All right, so, and if you want to practice some stability, now lift up that left leg on up. Flex your left leg, lift it on up. Toes are pointed straight on forward. And pressing equally with both arms expanding outward. Belly's pulled in. Inhale. Exhale, release your leg on down. Take your left arm and just slide it down your left leg. And the right arm will come on and reach up like our half moons. And we're going to gaze on up to our right arm. So allow you're feeling that whole right side opening on up here. Big breath. So feel that breath in your belly, your ribs, your chest. Notice the expansion between your ribs. We're going to go back on down. So maybe if you want to circle your wrist as you go on down. And then go ahead, place that arm on down. Lift your left arm up again. Flex that right foot one more time. Gaze on up. Release it down, come on back up, and then right back on over. We got somebody coming at the doorbell. Who else is in? Oh, Catherine. Alrighty. Alright, so we're all, ooh, nice crack. Did you hear my body crack? That was a good one. Alright, come on. Come on back to the middle. Alright, thumbs up. What'd you think of that one? Yeah? No? Kind of. All right, right leg extends out. So you're going to feel that nice stretch. The inside. Right foot is parallel. Left arm is going to come right on down. The middle finger pointing to the top of the mat. Right arm up. Both arms expand. And then go ahead, lift and flex that right leg. Gaze on up to the ceiling. Notice your breath. Bring your right foot down, right leg down, right arm just flows on down. Just don't put any pressure on your knee here. And then left arm opens. Get expansion on that whole side. Maybe some circles with that wrist. Let's go back down the other way again. Right arm comes up, flexing it up. And come on back down. And to the right. Gaze on up. Really notice that breath. Inhale, come on back to center, bring your knees together. If you happen to have a block at home, a block is a really great tool. We're going to take camel, and you can just put that between your legs. If you don't have a block, it's no big deal. Just bring your legs together. The block's going to remind you to squeeze your legs on in. Our hands are going to come to our lower back. We can face them down. You can bring them on up. You can make fists. And we're going to press right on into that lower sacrum. Shoulders come down, elbows draw towards one another. We're going to press the tops of your feet down into the ground, or you can curl your toes under. Either option, so many options here. And we're going to lift on up our chest, open up our throat. And really press your hands on into your sacrum. Press those thighs forward. Chest continues to open. Maybe a little, if you can drop your neck back. Notice your breath here. Try that 3-part breath. So breathing in with your belly, your ribs, your chest, pausing and then emptying your chest, your ribs, your belly. One more. Breathe it all in. Exhale. Come on forward on that exhale. If you got your block, you can ditch your block. We're going to sit on back into our heels, and you can take child pose from here, just that opposite stretch. Notice your breath in child's pose. Your belly, your ribs, your chest. Inhale, come on up, and we're going to go right on into table. Stacking our joints. Got our hips over our knees, shoulders, elbows, wrists. Tops of our feet are onto the mat. And let's take some cat and cow curls here. So inhale, lift on up. Exhale, curl. 3-part breath, notice it here. Inhale. Exhale. Really separating those vertebrae in your back. Go nice and slow. So I'm not even going to cue you for your breath because we're all going to be breathing differently. Just take 4 more going in both directions, and we'll meet together at neutral spine. I really want you to feel how that breath is flowing through as your body moves. Right, y'all look like you're there. Perfect. If you're not, you'll be there. Okay, so so let's do some stability here. So we press our hands into the mat, extend that left leg, flex that left foot. Notice if your hip kind of like rolled back a little, drop it down so you have those square hips. Right arm reaches out with your thumb pointed up and really reach in opposite directions. Your gaze is going to be right to the front of your mat. You want to keep your spine in line, your neck in line with your spine. And now notice your breath here. Big inhale. Exhale, release it down. If you need to, let's sink back, maybe take a child's pose in between. See what you can relax, if you can let your shoulders loosen. And as you sink your sitting bones down closer towards your heels, maybe your lower back releases. Inhale, let's rock back into table. Set yourself up. And switch sides. Extend that right leg, check your hips. Left arm reaches forward, thumb pointing on up. Long spine. And just breathe. Keep pulling your belly in as you breathe too. Bring it on down. All right, let's separate our knees. Big toes come together to touch, and a child's pose for our hips here. Forehead comes on down to the mat. Arms come wide, maybe so wide your pinkies, your ring fingers hang off the mat. And then maybe reach your arms a little forward, sink your hips back, and then just melt and relax in. Inhale, bring yourself on up and right onto your belly. So however you get there. All right, so let's take our left arm, bring it parallel to the top of the mat. You can have your fingers spread wide. You're going to bend your right leg and externally rotate that right shoulder. So you're going to reach back, grab the inside of your left leg and kick your hand, your foot into your hand into your foot, lifting your thigh off the mat. Press down with your arms, so we're taking half of a floor bow here. This is opening your shoulders. And you'll press your hips into your mat, protecting your lower back. Notice your breath here. Go ahead, release it down. Change sides, right arm to the top of the mat, left arm comes back. The external rotation in your shoulder, reaching back for the inside, lifting on up. Release it down. Bring both arms down to the mat. You can put your forehead down and just windshield wiper your legs back and forth here. Let's come to stillness. Knees are bent, and we're going to reach back. Whoops, actually, if you can grab outside ankles here, and take floor bow. So you're grabbing the outside. I may have had you doing some contortionist stuff just now, didn't I? Flex your feet, lift your thighs, bring your knees together. So maybe you needed to bring your legs together to grab both of them. See if you can keep bringing them in. Lift your shoulders up. Notice your breath, how you're filling your belly, your ribs, your chest. And as your belly fills with the air, your body maybe lifts up a little. All right, come on down, enough of that. Bring your arms by your side. Go ahead, roll out your windshield wiper again. Good. Come on to stillness. Bring your arms down by your lower ribs. Elbows hug in. Tops of your feet press on into the mat. And we're just going to take a little baby cobra here. So we're not coming up that high. We're going to draw our shoulders down away from our ears. Elbows keep hugging in. Feet press in. Hips press in. Inhale. Exhale. Release it down. You can bring your right cheek down to the mat. Bring your arms down by your sides. Take a deep breath in. Breath out. One more breath in. Feel your belly, your ribs, your chest. Exhale. All right, set yourself up again. We're going to do another baby cobra. So pressing your feet in, your hips in, hands by your ribs, elbows, and inhale, lift on up. Maybe on your inhale, you can lift a little bit higher. Or maybe you're good right where you are. One more breath in. Exhale, bring your left cheek down now. Your arms come by your sides. Bring your chin back to neutral. Spin your palms down so that they're facing the floor. Legs come together. We're going to take a locust here. So we're lifting, again, pressing those hips down into the mat. Arms lift up, legs lift up, chin lifts up off the mat. Spread your fingers really wide. Reach your fingers to the back of the room. Flex your toes. Reach those legs back. Crown of the head forward. Notice what happens with your breath here. Keep breathing. One more inhale. Maybe you lift a little higher. Exhale, release it down. Nice. Breath in. Breath out. We're going to take one more locust. On your next inhale, lift on up. Also an option here if you want to take an arm bind and grab your hands, clasp your hands behind you, and actively bring your hands away from your body. One more breath in. Exhale, release it down. All right, press yourself on up. Let's take a child's pose, just reversing all of that. Most likely with our knees together would be best here. And feel that lower back. Inhale, let's come back into tables, spin around, right onto our bums. If you have a strap handy and you want to use a strap, it's always an option to grab that to make it a little more accessible. We're just going to do some leg stretching here. So our right leg is going to come on into our inner left thigh. Sitting up nice and tall. Arms reach up. Shoulders sink back. Flex that left leg, slight bend to your knee. And we're going to just hinge at the hips. We're not curling. We're hinging right at the hips, right forward. And then bring your arms down. So if your head's not down to your knees, that's fine. We're lengthening throughout the spine here. So nice long spine, keeping that soft bend in your knee. Left foot flexed. If you have that strap, this is where it would be great to have that strap to help help you out a little. Get a little more stretch in your legs. Feel your breath. Maybe you can use your hands, walk yourself a little forward, but if you notice you're curling on over, then just back off. Walk yourself on up and change sides. So shimmy, square those hips. Inhale, arms up, big breath. Shoulders sink back, and then just that hinge. Arms release down. Don't lock out that right leg. Keep that foot flexed. And if you have that strap, always a good option. Inhale, come on up. Both legs are out. Maybe a shimmy so you're equally on your sitting bones. Arms up, breath in, shoulders sink, and fold forward. If you really need to bend your knees here, go for it. If you want to keep them like super bent, it's really all about the spine. Yes, you're going to feel your hamstrings. That's a natural. That's a given. You know, maybe you can just slowly walk them out. You can use your hands or that strap to pull yourself on closer. Really feel the lengthening. Inhale, sit on up. Soles of our feet together, our Baddha Konasana. Looking at y'all here. All right, so as you sit up nice and tall, bring those shoulders down and away. Continue to drop your knees down to the ground. And they may be up here, they may, wherever they are, don't matter. Just continue to feel yourself relaxing and melting into this pose. Maybe your eyes close down. And 3-part breath here. Told you I was going to continue to remind you about that 3-part breath. Stretch out that right leg. Stretch out that left leg. Again, soft bend in your knees. Knees in line. Your feet are flexed. Sit up nice and tall. And maybe just walk yourself forward just a little bit. Nice long spine. Maybe you can continue to melt forward. Maybe walk a little bit more forward. Maybe come onto your forearms. Or not. And then just walk yourself back up to seated. Good. Look, we're not even on our okay, we're good. We're doing good. Okay, let's roll on onto our backs. Good. We're gonna bend our knees. Cross your right leg on over your left leg. So you're gonna try to pass that ankle bone beyond your thigh. Drop that right leg back. This is our figure 4. So maybe here, just check your hips. You're going to feel that right hip just opening. And then lift your left leg on up. Keep that left leg flexed. And then reach in between. You can clasp the back of your thigh. Both feet are flexed and active here, protecting your knees. And continue to try to relax your shoulders down. So we're not forward, we're just melted down into that mat. And here if you want, how about we take a couple circles with our ankles? Kind of a fun little thing, yeah. Here are all the cricks and cracks of our ankles. Yeah. All right, come on back to stillness. Maybe you can pull that left thigh on in a little bit more towards your body and use your right elbow to press the inside of your right leg and that IT band running along the back of your hip thigh. Maybe a little rocking. Cross your leg all the way over and then grab your both legs behind, and we're going to just pull that both a little bit slightly towards your right shoulder a little. And then maybe on over towards your left shoulder a little. Just make little movements here. All right, uncross the legs, release them down. In between, we're going to take a bridge. So your heels are going to come as close to your bum as you can. Hands are down on the mat, palms face down. Your knees are hips width apart. And we're going to just lift our hips on up to the ceiling as we press our feet down into the mat. Continue to press on in. Option here if you want to clasp your hands behind you. You can even tuck your shoulders on underneath, lift on up, and keep pressing your feet on in. If you're clenching your butt cheeks with all your might, let go. Keep your neck in neutral. We don't want to turn your neck side to side here. If your arms are tucked, untuck them and bring them on down. Bring your legs on and just give yourself a little hug. Roll around a little. Let's bring our legs back. Cross that left ankle on over your right thigh. And again, just feel what you're feeling here right now. I know sometimes I like to just kind of rub on the inside, that left thigh. Give a little poking and prodding. Massage. And then when you're ready, you can lift on up that right leg and thread your clasp arms on through. Again, feet are flexed. How is that 3-part breath going for you? Did you forget about that? You did, just bring it back. Maybe a couple circles with your ankles on this side. One way, the other. Maybe you can hug it on in a little more. With that left elbow pressing out, intensify any of the sensations you're feeling in that left hip. Or not. Cross that leg on over, clasp both legs behind, and then give yourself a hug on in, maybe some gentle rocks and roll. Just play around with where you get a little more sensation on this. It could be over to the left, the right. Notice if your shoulders has crept up. You're gritting your jaw, your teeth. Your eyes can soften. Unwind your legs. Maybe a nice full body stretch here would feel really good, I bet. Legs long, arms overhead, big stretch. Pull your belly in, really stretch. Exhale, just release it down, everything. Big breath in. Belly, ribs, chest. Exhale. Next, inhale. Let's bring those arms, the legs on up a little bit more. Rocking and rolling. Take that right leg on in. Stretch your left leg long. And keep a bend to that left leg. And then we're going to take that leg all the way over. Your right leg drops across your body. Both shoulders on the ground. Maybe your gaze goes over towards your left shoulder. Your belly pulls in. And then check out your breath here. Your belly, your ribs, your chest. Inhale, come on back to center. Stretch that leg long, arms overhead. Then big long stretch. Inhale, left leg comes on in. And then bring it across your chest, your body. Left arm tees out, gaze over to your left. Belly, ribs, chest. Breathing. Come on back across your body. Legs long, arms overhead, one more big full stretch. Both legs on in. Oh, good, we got some time, good. All right, let's bend our knees. Let's take a happy baby here. So outside edges of each foot. Elbows come to the insides of our knees. What a funny camera view everybody's got. I see a bunch of feet. This is cool. Alright, so go ahead and rock and roll a little side to side. Something I was playing with the other day is taking those two peace fingers of yours, and you can grab onto your toes, your big toes, makes it a little more accessible, and then notice as you do that, it's not as much strain on your shoulders, so you can drop your shoulders down to the mat a little. And then extend your right leg a little bit, just stretch it out long. Continue to relax your shoulder down. Maybe your leg can drop a little bit farther down towards the ground. Bring it on in. And then stretch out that left leg. And I do kind of have monkey arms, so, you know, this may look a little more challenging. Keep relaxing those shoulders. Bring both legs in back to happy baby. And then stretch both legs out now. Really feel your spine on the mat, nice and long. Bring both legs all the way up to the ceiling, legs long and tall. I'm going to throw in some core at the end so you'll be ready for Shavasana. You ready? We're going to tuck our hands underneath our tailbone. So if you need to shimmy a little bit here, you know, we'll have one hand, so kind of like you're making like a triangle underneath your bum, where your tailbone is. Flex your feet, both feet lifted, flex like you're stepping on the ceiling. Your neck is straight. And then lower your legs about 30% down to the ground. Pull that core in, engage your core. Lower another 30% on down to the ground. And now lower on down, so you're just hovering. Bring your chin on up towards your chest and gaze at your feet. Spread all your 10 toes. And we're going to count 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your legs back on up to the ceiling. Yeah, I know, I'm throwing fun stuff in. I told you earlier I was in a mood, right? All right, belly pulls in. Let's drop 30%. Bring it down another 30%. And then down to hover, spread your toes. Notice what your breath's doing. Are you holding your breath? Keep breathing. Belly, ribs, chest. Belly, ribs, chest. And then on your inhale, lift up. Bring those legs all the way up to the ceiling. Curl them on in. Nice job. Good. How are we at? Oh, excellent. Now we're going to grab our legs and we're going to just kind of like rock and roll a little bit, kind of like a little kid. Roll at your spine. And then on up to seated. Soles of our feet come together. Konasana. Sit up nice and tall. Shoulders drop down. Eyes closed for a moment. So we're going to kind of gracefully get into our malasana, our deep squat. So however that looks like for you, we're just going to rock ourselves on forward onto our squat. So your knees in line with your toes, elbows can come to the insides, hands to prayer. And then just lengthen, continue to lengthen your head on up to the ceiling. Really press your hands on into one another, your elbows pressing on out. Shoulders keep dropping down. Feel that sitting bone just sinking down towards the mat. Notice your breath here. Bring your hands on down to the mat and then slowly bring your legs straight and heel toe your feet together. Keep your head hanging. We're going to fold on over. Your feet are about hip width apart, both feet at 12 o'clock. And then rock towards the toe ball mounds of your feet without gripping the mat with your toes. Your knees can be really generously bent here, and that will allow that lower back release. Maybe you want to walk yourself from side to side. Come to center, slowly one vertebrae at a time. Come on up to standing. Oh. Good, let's bring our hands to prayer. Eyes closed down. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Open your mouth, sigh it out. All right, I know I'm doing this kind of wacky today. It's completely out of our normal routine, but that's okay. We're going to build our mountain, starting from the ground on up. Root your feet on down into the ground, lift your toes. Feel those inner ankles slide back, outer ankles press down. Shins hug in, soft bend to your knees. Thighs are lit up. Hips are at neutral. Feel your breath, so your belly, your ribs, your chest, shoulders drop down and back. Lift your arms on up, and then bend your knees, sink on down into chair. Shift your weight onto your left foot, And we're going to cross our right leg over our left leg. So your hips should be really warmed up with all of that work we were just doing. And then maybe if you can, take eagle, right arm under, left arm over. And if it's too much and you want to just cross your arms, you can do that. And if you fall out, you can just get back in. Gaze straight ahead. Curl your arms, bring your arms back down, our Samastitihi arms, really flex those arms. Uncross your legs, stand on up. Take a deep breath in. Breath out. Arms reach up again. Shoulders sink in. Sink down with your knees, bend your knees. Shift your weight to your right foot. Left leg crosses over. And then maybe left arm comes under, right arm over. Gaze straight ahead. Unwind your arms, bring them back down. Uncross your legs. Hands to prayer. Eyes closed down. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Open up your mouth, sigh it out. Excellent. One more. Big breath in, belly, ribs, chest. Pause and empty. All right, we're going to do one more balancing pose, and then we're going to hit the mat for our Shavasana. So if you want to find a wall, we're going to do dancer. So bring our right arm on up. Right leg sinks on into the ground, so that mountain that we just built, we're still there. Left leg bends, and we're going to grab the inside of our left foot, and then just hinge at your hip. Maybe kick your foot back, press your hand into your hip into your hand. Keep dialing that left hip forward so your hips are square. Whee! And if you fall out, then you know the drill. If it's not happening, it's not happening. All right, come on now, let's change sides. All right, set yourself up. Left arm up, left leg sinks, right arm rotates, bend your knee, and forward. Inhale. That's enough of that. Hit your mat. Let's take Shavasana. Yay. Shavasana. All right. Lay on down. So you have options in Shavasana. You can bring your knees together. Bring your feet to the outside edges of your mat. Try that a little if your lower back is cranky. Take one hand to your lower belly, one hand to your chest. Notice as you breathe in, the belly, the ribs, the chest. Maybe here you want to extend your legs long, one to each corner of the mat. And noticing your belly, your ribs, your chest. And then maybe bringing your arms down by your sides, palms spin up, shoulders drop down and back. And just begin to take a scan in your body right now, what you're feeling. Just like we did 50 some odd minutes ago when we first started our practice. And not comparing, just noticing what you're feeling right now. Notice what's going on in your mind. you're rushing off with your to-do list for the day already, or if you can stay present, envisioning a clear space in your head. Feeling the back of your body on your mat, your arms, your hands just maybe gently open. Maybe your fingers are curled slightly in. Feel your back, your spine, your sitting bones, your bum, your legs, all supported on your mat. Nowhere to go, nothing to do, but to just relax for the next few breaths. Now slowly begin to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Bring one knee on into your chest, then the other. Give a little hug, a little rock and roll. Roll on over to your right side into a fetal position. Take a big breath here in belly, ribs, chest. Exhale. And using that left hand, press yourself up to a seated position, top of your mat. Hands come to heart center of prayer. Eyes can stay closed. Take that big deep breath in. One last big breath. Your belly, your ribs, your chest. Open your mouth, sigh it out. Carry your thumbs to your forehead. And together we'll bow and say to one another, Namaste. Hey, we made it to Shavasana today. All right, have a good day, everybody. Over here.